welcome back to Not My Lifetime channel on a lovely Wednesday evening, and welcome to the first episode officially of the Brigzy show. That is right, we have changed hashtag City Talk. It was a great idea, a great show concept, but we've now properly called it the show for what it is. Harry's here every week, so why not call it the Brigzy show? Brigzy, my friend, how are you doing today?
Yeah, it's not bad. So this is going to be a brand new series for everyone. Briggsy show, and this is going to go full deep dive. Could have general conversations just about life. We're going to get into some city discussions, and we're going to have some special guests on. We're in the process of already booking our first guest in for next week, just awaiting confirmation, which hopefully can give you some answers by the end of the show. And it's going to be fiery. It's going to be passionate. It's going to be everything what people want. So the first instalment of Briggsy Show starts now. Let's go.
Let's bloody go. Now, we also things to talk about to begin with that we don't want to talk about really, but as a responsibility of both of us in our own community and the community we actually represent in the City fan base, we have a right to say how we feel about certain things. And should be aware of the last week or so on social media. International break, can't have a break, can we? Can't just enjoy the time, away from the club for a bit after have controversy nowhere. But people, I'm sure, are aware of what happened last week with a certain someone once again after a few months of being very quiet, just coming back and being horrible to people. Now, look, it's going to be a topic that we'll dwell on, but because of what's been said and what's been going out there, threats to people to obviously kill themselves, which is obviously a very serious thing. A lot of rude words towards and derogatory towards disabled people like me and Harry are. A lot of it's been going on in group chats and private group chats, and a lot of rumors been spread around by other people to slander them, and that it's got to stop. It's got to stop. This isn't what a football fan base or football is about. It's not about being horrible to other people just to get some internet likes and internet followers for your page that no one really cares about anyway. For being real, we are here to support football clubs. All about football. We're not here to be horrible to other people. Be that ableism, be that racism, sexism, homophobia, anything of that regard, anything that is horrible to do with people, that isn't what we're about on the channel, and we'll never ever accept. So, me and Harry are both agreed on how we feel on the situation. I mean, I'll let him talk about it a bit as well from his point of view. But it needs to be said. Don't be over other people. Don't spread lies about other people that obviously aren't true, but you're just trying to do it to, appease someone that you're actually, you know, either like or talk to. It's all about this channel. Is all about talking about football, talking about City, having a good time, and that's what it's about, and that is what our fan base should be about all the time. But at some point, we got to say how we really feel about it. And for me personally, I just cannot stand hatred. I can't stand abuse. I can't stand that at all. It's inappropriate whatsoever, and especially in this fan base. But yeah, Harry, how do you feel about it, mate?
Yep. So it's a difficult situation because obviously it's like I could just throw this in randomly. We're not dealing with no big Steve against Matt Goldbridge drama. This is way bigger. This is mental health and emotional well-being. Like we're seeing a lot of City fans, disabled and even not disabled, talking about the mental health going through the roof, and people are having tough times at the minute. And when we're seeing all this kind of stuff on social media, about being called words discriminating against disabled people or saying "go kill yourself," it's completely out of order. You can't justify it one way or another. It's got to be stamped out with the right authority, and there's no there's no way that you can say that you can justify it and say it's all okay because you're suffering mental health. It's all about what you don't know what other people. So, for example, Luke's been like part of this, and obviously between this person and Luke, they don't know each other in person. Like myself and Luke have met. We know what each other's about, whereas this person and Luke completely don't. I've had no like one-on-one communication with this person, but it's not on whoever it may be, whether it may be onto an able-bodied person, whether it may be to a disabled person. You don't know people's circumstances. You don't know people's mental health, emotional well-being, and if it comes to the wrong person, because Luke and myself are tough people to crack it and get over it. However, if it comes to the wrong person, somebody may end up doing something that could later on lead to regret between the person who said the nasty word or the person that could be affected by the nasty word. it's all about saying the right things and saying that it's not on. And you've got to realise that it's not just a word that it just means muppet, you're stupid. It's discrimination, and that's all I'll say about the subject.
Yeah. Oh, look, that's all we're going to say. Look, we probably got it for another 10 minutes, but there's no point. Like, stuff like that isn't worth talking about. Much longer than we're giving it for. But both of us feel like we can't sort of sit here and be quiet about it. We've got to say something about it. But as far as we'll go, obviously, anyone is confused about what it is, then I'm sure you might see it at some point on social media, or someone might say what's going on. But we won't mention it much more than that, really. But we'll move
Finally,
on
sorry,
to.
I will just add this: if anybody's struggling with mental health, get out there,
Yeah.
talk to your friend, talk to your family, and open up about what you're struggling with and why you're struggling with it, rather than just sitting in silence in a blackout, thinking that's it. You're struggling with life. You want your life to be over. Get out there and get help from the right people that you can trust and they respect you.
Samaritans, plenty of lines you can use on your phone. Call people and talk to people. There are plenty of lines you can use. I will put them in the comment section below, but I'll put them actually in the description after the stream and make sure I try and do that. I remember myself to do that afterwards. So, yeah, you're never alone, people. You're never alone. You always have someone who's going to chat to you and help you get through what you're going through. So, stay strong, everyone. Stay strong. But let's move on. Let's move on from that. We've talked about what we need to talk about. Let's actually get on to the show properly now. Let's talk about football finally. End of the international break. Harry, we finally got through it. Got through a Lee Carsley ball finally. I mean, to be honest, it wasn't terrible. It wasn't. It wasn't. I was hating it, but if anything, it's just international breaks. I just don't get it's just pointless to me. For small nations who might want to play tournaments, I understand how big this might be. But for us, it's not big at all because we know where we stand on that front. We know how to qualify for a tournament, but it doesn't mean much to us anyway. So the friendlies just feel really boring and insignificant, if anything. Apart from seeing San Marino win, that was really cool seeing them win their first game in how many other years they've won a game. Apart from that, Ake get injured for the Netherlands, frustrating injury to get just before the games we've got on. Obviously, I wouldn't say it's a catastrophe for us, but just more fact that once again, international break, and as another player on the nickel bench. Now, obviously, I know idea how he's out. I'm sure Pep will probably say something either on Friday, probably. So I'm sure we'll find out eventually how his extent of his injury is going to be. But it's not ideal. Not ideal. You have a player that's on medical bench that I can actually use in certain games like Watford and Inter Milan coming up. It's just another setback that we've got to deal with. Now, is it a level for Arsenal? Definitely not. No, but it's still an injury that I would rather not have whatsoever in the squad.
So, before I start about the injuries like Nathan Ake, because I'm going to go ham on that, with England, I mean, yes, it's been a lot more productive than the last 8 years. I mean, Sam Allardyce with his one match game, and everyone thought, yep, after Roy Hodgson's Euro 16, a new England, a new style of play, and then you've got Sam Allardyce's long ball, and then after that scandal with Allardyce, you thought Gareth Southgate. I knew what it was about before with getting Middlesbrough relegated and Hull surviving despite being seventh at Christmas. And then obviously he's got to two Euro finals plus a World Cup semi. But how that was handled, defensive, zero structure, lucky wins in penalty shootouts. There was no structure to Gareth Southgate ball. Lee Carsley, yes, more progressive. But I went on BBC Radio Manchester Total Sports show last week and I said, this is just his test. But long term, I'd rather see a manager that takes us that next step, which is we've been to two finals plus a World Cup semi. Let's progress. Let's get someone that can get you over the line, get that job complete with a CV. Now, we've said it when the England games was on and the Euros was on. What managers was we looking at? I think you mentioned Jose Mourinho. I mentioned Pep with all the rumours if he was leaving at the end of this season, but I think Pep's nailed on to San. So I said on BBC Radio last week, I would be looking at Jurgen Klopp. Why? Because he's a manager that's won the Premier League, can get to finals on a regular basis, won the Champions League, did it with Dortmund, although he only got to the final because he had to play Bayern in the final. But he's a manager that wins stuff. He's a manager that knows how to get the job done, gets you into finals on a regular basis without fluking wins. I mean, Euro 2024, Southgate, yeah, might have got to the final, but when you get a big team, you're cracked. When you got to Euro 21 final, home turf, literally home turf. A proper manager in them last two tournaments would have seen the job, would have won some, especially with the group of talent we've got. You've got your Sakis, you've got Grealishes, even though you didn't go to Euro 24. You've got your Fodens, Jude Bellinghams, Harry Kane. You've even got a solid defence, and you've got a steady keeper with Pickford. But that manager held the squad back. And for me, the next person for the job is Jurgen Klopp. Just FA, pull your finger out and convince him, because not there. I seen all the rumours a few weeks ago that they want Pep Guardiola and they'll do what it takes to get Pep. That's the FA. Man City the same now. Do whatever it takes to keep Pep on. Man City have got more chance because he's a Man City employee. The FA, they won't go from Gareth Southgate's wages, which I think was 4 mil for Euro 24, to go to Pep's wages, which are rumoured to be 20 mil. Not a chance. So pull your finger out your ass, get over Pep Guardiola FA, and get Jurgen Klopp. Keep Lee Carsley on, by all means. Keep him in the 21s or promote him to assistant manager. But you need a manager that can win the big tournaments and see England over the line after the Gareth Southgate progression.
Well, I'll say, like, don't get me wrong. For me personally, Lee Carsley, I like because he's actually quite straight thinking and sort of says how he feels. I appreciate someone who comes in as after, especially with Southgate going. I wouldn't mind it personally if he's in charge for the main fixtures of Nations League this year. I wouldn't mind that at all. But again, we're at danger there. Let's say he wins every game. He'll do it then. Then I'll about Southgate again. I'm not saying Carthy is Southgate, by the way. I think Carthy's a better manager than Gareth Southgate personally already. Because he won. He can handle the young players and the egos. He can handle it. He'll say it as it is. But the problem is he's not experienced enough at the level that's what's required. I know De La Fuente for Spain was very similar to Lee Carsley, but De La Fuente coached most of these young players anyway. And yes, the argument will be, but so did Lee Carsley. But we've got to ask this again. Do you really want another Gareth Southgate again? We've seen another 8 years to get everyone going again to a final. Can Lee Carsley got the managerial nous to really get it out of the players in the final? Look, because remember, Ireland and Finland are games that we should win anyway. I honestly, I'm not even surprised. I thought we actually won those games. I just want to see a team that, don't get me wrong, the style of play was great to watch. Like it's way better than what's in on the Southgate. But the problem is, it's not the free flowing style of play, which is what we need this team to be. I know obviously haven't got Bellingham or Foden in this team yet, so I've still got to see how they'll get in this team when they're back from injury. But with England, there's a lot of questions rather than a lot of answers still. A lot of questions about who about the right team. Because again, that World Cup squad is not guaranteed whatsoever in 2 years. There's going to be a lot of changes between now and then. They also can't know who's going to be in that squad anyway, but it's still a long way to go before that. But obviously, for us right now, it's all about the City. But obviously, we'll use the chance to talk about it. For me, Jack Grealish, and his heart says it's make or break for him. It is, because Jack Grealish, for me, in both those games, was brilliant. In a midfield role, he looked at home in that team, like a player that was back to his level. I think at West Ham, obviously you and me were there, mate. We saw how he was, how forward thinking he was, how much he tried to drive towards the box and create a chance for Haaland for that second goal. The guy's hungry this year, hungry to prove people wrong, and I think he will prove everyone wrong this year and really sort of make that claim to get back in the team. Because like I said before, this season's a year. If he has another bad year, he'll be out the door at some point. Now, I hope not. When you look at Musiala and Verts being linked this week, it's going to be a huge summer next summer with the amount of players obviously leaving. Because remember before, we've got a huge midfield selection to choose from this season. So not everyone's going to be here next season, I think, next year. So it's a lot of places up for grabs this year. So for Jack specifically, though, mate, I'm impressed with what I've seen so far. He's got to keep it up, though.
You see, with Jack Grealish, and It's the same what we said about Phil Foden, because all Euro 2024, where was Foden playing minus one game? Where was Foden playing all tournament minus that one game? Answer me that, Luke. Where was Foden playing that full tournament?
Left wing.
Yep. And now you've just said about Jack Grealish in the cam role in his perfect number 10, and look how he's flourished. Same way how Foden flourished all last season for Man City, because he's got the right coaches, he's got the right manager that knows the system, knows what Jack Grealish knows, what Phil Foden, when Foden comes back into England team, knows what they're capable of in the right positions. Not this versatile position where they look a bit out of position, out of shape. They need to be Fodens and your Grealishes needs to be in the right position so they can have the freedom, the expression, and control to do what they want when it matters. Create chances to Harry Kane, create chances to let's say an Ivan Toney or Ollie Watkins. If you get the ball from a Grealish to the striker, or the same with Foden, you're on to a winner. But if, like I said, we go back to the manager situation, when you just mentioned there, you take Lee Carsley on a temporary basis so you can get a long-term structure, right, with a manager that's got a CV behind him. I agree. Because when we were saying about Pep Guardiola, about all them rumours in the Euros, I'd have the interim manager or keep Southgate on to cover the Nations League. And then when the when the World Cup qualifiers start, you can have your proper manager like your Pep Guardiola, or as I want now, Jurgen Klopp since he's free. Then you can have them in place and you can get the World Cup preparations underway. Because the Nations League, who cares? I mean, LB was saying on his watch along last night, what is Nations Leagues? He didn't even know there was relegation. It's not that important, the Nations League. So a temporary manager like Lee Cardiff for now, fair enough. But you do need that manager so you can settle for World Cup. And like you say, because you don't know the World Cup squad, because there'll be a new manager by then, and you don't know what England players come the season after this one ahead of the World Cup. They don't know what players forms will be like, players fitness, injuries, all that crap. So this process has got to be spot on.
Yeah, exactly, mate. I thought carry on. Yes, mate. At some point, we will do actually a corner show. At some point, everyone does them at the moment. It's more of a. I've got to think of a way of doing that. That's actually quite different, unique. When if I'm ever going to do that, but one day, mate, we've got to work things out with shows. But you never know. One day. How's about the Ake injury? Right,
Oh,
the Ake injury.
my blood's boiling.
I am frustrated. Now, again, was he starting every game this season? No. Josko, for me, has probably got that spot now, I think, and probably so. However, Nathan Ake was a fantastic option off the bench to use or to play in certain games. And now obviously information of how long he's out for. It doesn't look good, but it's not like a long-term injury if it's going to live out for months. But it's a setback to a player that I haven't got to find cover for. And yes, we've got Wilson Esperand, but are we seriously using Wilson Esperand? The player hasn't really got anywhere near the team for since his most debut. It's just, I just feel a little bit like we've been left short there. I'm not saying that we should sign a defender because we've got defenders as it is, but for what Ake offers this team is a unique offering. Centre back, left back can do a good role down the left hand side, robust, physical. Losing that kind of player for how many games will obviously be out of him for? It's just frustrating. Is it an Erdegaard level injury? Definitely not. But for us specifically, to go into the round of games with another injury, with Bob and Ake now injured, it's beyond frustrating again. Because once again, the international break once again shows how bloody annoying it is when we've got another big player or a player in the squad who we use quite a lot in these in these obviously games. It's just a huge bloody loss, mate. I'm just fucking bloody frustrated of it all. But I mean, Steve is here, for sure. But he could be. The thing is, West Bram for me, right? It's once again, if he does get a chance, can you trust him to actually make an impact? Because it's what I mean. It's been how many years since we've not seen him play? It's just a real it's a real gamble that happens. But that is, if we actually see him play. This isn't going to actually see him play at all. So it's just a lot. Look, it's not like it's panic stations, but I'm sure you think as well, Harry. It's a bloody frustrating injury yet again to have.
Yep, So I'll start on Wilson Esbrand because, like I said earlier, the Ake situation, I'm ready to go heavy in. So with Wilson Esbrand, I mean, like we say, for those that watch LB and his content, LB was gassing up Wilson Esbrand a couple of years ago, just before the treble season, and he was saying, I could see this guy starting for City, like even in cup matches, and then slowly doing a recall Lewis coming into the fold more often, and never happened. And LB was like, "That's it. I think it's over." And then when this summer came around with the USA tour, he was playing, but LB said it's probably just minutes so he can get some experience and get his name out there ahead of like another championship loan, because obviously he was at Coventry last season, and when you go on all these loans with City, no offense, but you're not making it into Man City's first team, even if it's like for cup and rotation when you've had all these loans. And unfortunately, I think Wilson Esbrand's time, it won't come to like a Rico Lewis or an Oscar Bob. He won't find his way into the first team, even if it's like a temporary basis and it becomes more fluent. Wilson Esbrand, I think it's time to part ways, say thanks for your service, and if we can get you a permanent deal, there's the exit door. But you've been a good servant, you've been patient, but it ain't working out. Now, Nathan Ake. Nathan Ake, where to fucking begin? So, this is where I'm going to go heavy, guys. So prepare yourself.
Yep.
Get your popcorn ready. Get your Coca-Colas ready. Get your beers ready. Whatever you want, because we've just had the Euros. Every 2 years, you have that tournament, which is absolutely fine. Then you come back, especially after the last couple of years. So the COVID delay, the Qatar World Cup, and obviously this season, back in the season, more like we've got the FIFA Club World Cup expanded tournament, and that's before we talk about Champions Leagues, the extra Champions League games, especially. Just throwing a scenario, Man City have got to play the Champions League playoff in, I think it's February. So my point is, after that Euro 2024, 3 games into a domestic season across France, Germany, Spain, Italy, and England, why the fuck, and I mean this, why the fuck do we need a Nations League? A Nations League that nobody cares about. It's just a glorified friendly. It's worse than the Community Shield. It's worse than the Conference League. And look what's happened in this International Conference League, International Community Shield, whatever you want to call it, guys. What's happened? Nathan Ake has got injured, and then that's all fine saying players get injuries. I get that. But then you've got to think we've got 4 home games starting Saturday in 10 days, and two games are 48 hours difference. 48 hours difference, and then after that you've got Newcastle, Bratislava, and I think it's Southampton or Wolves, if someone can correct me.
Southampton, I think,
No,
is it
Fulham.
November time?
Fulham.
So yeah, sorry, Fulham. October.
Yeah.
It's the first game back then. Yeah.
So we've got Newcastle, Bratislava, Fulham in the space of a week. So we've got 4 games in 10 days, 3 games in 7 days. That is plenty of rotation because of lack of fitness, fatigue, and you're trying to cram in this Nations League for what? Just 3 weeks into a season and 2 months after a proper competitive tournament. Where's the player welfare? Where's the player safety? Fuck's sake! Somebody's got to take responsibility there, because when we all seen the pictures last night, unless you was watching the game for Netherlands, the Aki injury looked horrible, and there was all the rumours he could be out for a couple of months, like Oscar Bob was. And yeah, it looks very bad on the pictures. What I think, because I wasn't watching it. I was sat watching a New Waterloo Road. But the point is, player welfare, player safety, all these games, a summer tournament, which is fine, and then you have this Nations League, 3 matches into a new domestic season. Fuck UEFA, fuck FIFA, because nobody cares. It's like, obviously, I'm going to throw this at you, lads. Arsenal and Watford game. We can't play a Wednesday because UEFA want to keep United on a Wednesday for Europa League. Sorry, Europa League, UEFA Cup has always been a Thursday. Why are United playing on a Wednesday night Europa League? Just because you want to make a few more pennies? I see how it is. And we've got to make a full rotated team between 48 hours, Arsenal or Watford, give over. And that's before we mention Greater Manchester Police, because they don't want all the fans kicking off. I mean, get some more police. Man City, Watford, probably category C. United 20, I'd probably say category B, maybe A because it's UEFA game. But at the end of the day, forget the fans for a minute. Where's the player welfare? Sort it out. This is disgusting because, like, it's all right saying we've got Gvardiol, but if Gvardiol gets injured over this next month,
God,
who's our fullback? Answer me that. And who's it down to?
Well,
The organisations, FIFA,
yeah.
UEFA, everyone. Rant
Now,
over.
yes, about Harry for rants as always on the show. Giuseppe Him is a good point that he can. That yes, I like Rico. He can play there. Yes, he can. But everything else, like he was brilliant for England last night, play that position. But the problem is with playing Rico in that position is it's yet again we've changed the system again to suit how it's going to work. So it's like it depends on how we're going to use a left back in a situation because it's now you have to shift the whole system around again to make up for one defender possibly being out. Yeah, that people out, but he doesn't play. Who hasn't started the games with? Well, fair enough, yeah, but at some point we'll need Nathan Ake for a period of rotation because Vardy can't play every game. So we'll need someone to be in there who's as good as all one. Yeah.
I tell you what, sorry. If you could share screen, let's look at the fixtures because, like I say, we've got 4 games in 10 days, and then we've got Newcastle, Bratislava, and Fulham in the space of a week. So from the Saturday, I think what we could do is count how many days between count how many days from Brentford to Fulham, and then that's the next international break after Fulham. 7 games in how many weeks?
Yeah, so before I do that, I'll catch up with the conflict before we move on. Akanji can play there, but not his best, but can. Even Bernardo's been playing. Bernardo Silva at left back. This is what we're doing now. Like, I'm not. It's not going to use Steve, by the way. I've got to you as always, mate. But for me personally, Akanji playing there, all right, fine. But again, with injury, just any moment this season, and when injury like that happens, if I could get injured for a league game, all right, it is what it is. No one's going to complain about that, but it's not a football. But when you get injured for a game that nobody cares about anyway, because Netherlands will come anyway, what's the point? It's just ridiculously another injury wasted again. It's a waste of bloody time again. And it's just, yeah. I know everyone has their opinions on things, but I just thought again, frustrating. It is pointless. It's pointless as well. It's pointless bloody tournament. Like, if you win it, cool, well done. It is a trophy. I know Spain won it before. I was at Rodri obviously won it as well, so I get it. But England win it. In trophy, when's that ever happen? So it's just for me, it's pointless.
And do you really need it? September, 3 games into everyone's domestic leagues. Like I say, France, Germany, Spain, Italy, and England. You don't need the Nations League right this early.
I just well, Steve, let's be honest here. You're honestly getting investigated. When's that ever going to happen, mate?
No, they get a 40 million payout, Steve.
Come on, guys. Come on. Get like come on. Get him up. Come on. Bevo actually is back on tomorrow. He put out a tweet on his Twitter if you want to read that about what's going on. I won't go into much detail about what's going on, but he's all right. Don't worry. He'll be back soon on my channel at some point soon. Yeah, no, Steve. I agree. I do agree that he has to play it before, but we should be playing him there anyway. I know you're saying that, but I'd rather not have that situation. I would just have a defender there who can do a job and not lose a player to an injury in a game that means nothing anyway. It's like I get it with a tournament, but it's like it's another injury that has cost us a position or a part in this team. It's bloody frustrating. Martin Who from CBS. It's CBS Sport. It's CBS Sports, mate. I don't believe anything anybody say, mate. Look, they're wrong, right? Big up to Tom as always. Always in the Martin's obviously chats and streams, but yeah, mate. Anything that they say is best striker in the world. I know what you're smoking, mate, but I don't smoke a so don't get anywhere near that. But fixtures, I'll bring them up now because I've just loaded up now. Well, we'll go through this and properly break down this.
There'll be plenty of rotation, believe me.
Oh, yes, there will be. Right, here we go.
Don't be surprised, guys, if we have to throw Scott Carson at fullback.
Right, so Brentford first.
Yep.
Same probably as last game, maybe change here and there probably on Saturday.
It's difficult because got to remember what we're going to do when it comes to Inter.
Yeah, what Wednesday as well.
What's
What I
more
mean, like,
important, do you think?
well, for me personally, I think the league games right now, obviously, points. I think every game is obviously important anyway. But I think if you told me what's more important out of these two games, I'd say Inter Milan right now.
Yeah.
So, but again, Foden's obviously back today. In training today. Do you play a different team to the West Ham game, or do you play the same team as happened last time? What would you do, Harry?
Yeah, so I'm thinking the situation with Rodri and the difference of quality teams between Brentford and Inter. Brentford, yeah, I know what happened in the treble season. We had a shitstorm, but the World Cup was on the horizon. Brentford at home, you're more than capable of winning the same team that you had against West Ham. But for Inter Milan, I'd have your key players there, like your De Bruyne's, your Rodri's, and for this one, Brentford, I'd play the same team like you say, but it's more how to put it, more the minutes that you give as well, because you've got to get your, especially in this 10-day period, your substitutions will be key.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, yeah, for me personally, Rodri and Foden should I think, and most of the first team players should be back in this game. But I think what we got to do, I think, as well, is that we've got to remember that we've got quite a big squad as well. If you think about it, right, like chat as well, like you have to remember, we've got massive opposite midfielders. Like, if I go through them right now, I was a better on Sunday night. Actually, it was quite interesting chat about it. So we've got De Bruyne, Rodri, Kovacic, Rico Lewis, if you count as a midfielder, Nunes, Bernardo Silva. I've already forgotten one already. Grealish, as I said already, or Savio, Doku, McAteer, O'Reilly,
Bernardo,
Bernardo. Yeah, so we've got like 12 options in midfield. People think that we've got a small squad. We've got like one striker, yes, but we've got a plethora of midfielders to choose from. And Walker, Stones, Vardio, Ake when he's fit, Diaz, I'm forgetting. Will Smith Brown counting him as well. I guess like 7 or 8 defenders to choose from as well. We've got a massive squad, mostly made up of centre backs and midfielders. Obviously, your striker. So at some point for me, in these, you know what, we'll say in these 7 games here, we'll play a full time because Haaland isn't playing every game here or starting every game. Haaland will miss this game. He'll play these 3 games. I reckon Brentford will come off. If I like 3-0. Inter he'll play the whole game, depending on obviously how hard the game's going to be for us. Arsenal will play the whole game. Watford he'll probably play nothing at all. Newcastle play the whole game. Bratislava, I doubt he'll even start the game. Fulham, that's how I think. That's how I think it'll probably will work. So I've got to ask this, and obviously it's entitled as well. Does Jack Grealish deserve that chance to play the false nine position?
I was thinking that, but then you've also got your Fodens and James McAteer that can do the false nine role. So your
Exactly.
false nine options are open to plenty. But when you just said you'd play Haaland for 60 odd minutes in Brentford and then chuck him off against, if we're like 2-3 up against Brentford, I don't know where you'd put Haaland because I want him and Cotton Wolf for the big week between Inter and Arsenal because yeah, we know he's a robot and he could probably play all 3, but especially with the games coming up thick and fast, you don't want to be playing Haaland and run him into the ground. I'd say
Mm.
I think we could actually manage without Haaland against Brentford, and then he's completely up and running against Inter, full fitness, and then maybe throw
Mm.
him off if you're like 2-0 up against Inter. Because Inter Milan, it's a tougher challenge than Brentford, with all respect to Brentford. They're a Champions League team. Obviously, Champions League final in our treble year. Brentford, yeah, they're a mid-table team and very defensive structured. So Haaland, yes and no to Brentford, but I think play your false nine. I think we should be able to get through with Brentford. What I was going to say though, before we went live, I was watching LB and Si, and they was having
Yeah.
a big debate about who was it, Foden and Kevin De Bruyne. What would you do with Kevin De Bruyne, especially with Inter Milan and Arsenal? Would you play Kevin De Bruyne against Brentford, or would you play Foden against Brentford, and then would you play the other one against Inter?
Joe, what I do, right? So let's just say Pats can play the same team. Oh, same system. I would personally give Phil Foden and possibly someone like McAtee or Nunes a run out as Brentford. I think De Bruyne bench, bring him on for a little bit towards the end of the game to get a little bit of fitness as well, obviously, and keep himself good before the Inter Milan game. I think I think Rodri, I give him a bit of game time as well because he has to play at some point. Obviously, playing against Spain, sorry, playing against Switzerland, but obviously he needs to play some games at some point. So I would say this is the game we start subbing in players. Obviously, give some game time. Inter, you probably played the big boys, Arsenal, the big boys. Watford, rest most of them and play most of like O'Reilly and McAtee in this game. Nunez in this game. Newcastle, you obviously play the main thing is
You're back to
Newcastle
your
away,
first
tough
team.
ground to go to. Bratislava,
Bratislavia,
I'm not just
careful on that.
mixture of a team. Mixture of a
Careful
team.
on that.
Mixture. Yeah.
Because what if it's one of them 3G pitches and not a proper pitch?
I play a mixture of team there. I wouldn't play a weak team. I play a
Yep.
mixture. So you've got some quality in there. You also got McAtee in there to play a bit as well. Because I'm not ever going to discount Bratislava because I know they're first time back in the general thing for how many years. But you got to remember this is a big game for them. This is like playing like Real Madrid. Them. You know, obviously not playing them, but this was them playing one of the big boys. This is a huge game for them. So we got to take it for what it is. Every game here is must win. But respect all these teams no matter what. Or even Watford, I'm respecting massively because it doesn't matter if you bet them or not, beat them. Because it's one in football. It can happen. So you got to make sure that you take every game seriously, but also give the squad enough rotation for it to work. So I think for me, looking at this, I'd probably play a strong-ish team Brentford, strong team Inter Milan, strong team Arsenal. Probably a second/C team against Watford, strong team against Newcastle, mixture of a team Bratislava, Fulham, same thing as well, mixture of a team. At least the fixtures here are a bit more varied. Obviously, we've got two difficult games back to back and Newcastle. These are the games I'd say are the harder ones of the lot. But our staff got a bit of an easier sort of like end to the run here. So it's kind of depends on what we obviously Pep goes for. Try to make sure it's a balanced sort of a balanced mixture of players, so it's not too much on the Bruynes and Haalands, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I think what I'd do with Brentford is I'd be starting Kevin De Bruyne, and then once we're a couple of goals up, bring on Foden, and then alternative against Inter, start Foden. If we're doing well against Inter, then you can bring on Kevin De Bruyne because I want Kevin De Bruyne fresh for Arsenal, and then obviously vice versa, rotate. But when it comes to Watford, yeah, you can take them both out, give them some much needed rest for Newcastle, and you can just put McAtee against Watford. So that's how I'd do it. Because I mean, you've got to remember, it'd be nice to see you can have two of them midfielders together, De Bruyne and Foden, but they ain't going to work together. We can't see a
Yeah.
system where you put De Bruyne and Foden in essential mids together. Doesn't work like that with Pep.
No, exactly. Now, so go back to the comments quickly before we carry on.
Yep.
So don't worry, bro. I do mods after the stream. I'll go let everyone mod people obviously at some point. I don't do it all the time, but if I remember it, I'll make sure to do that. All depends on how Kaki will return as much as yeah, look again, about Kaki injury, it's definitely a mixture of a situation on that one. We'll see what Pep says on that one before we make some comments on it, but it depends on how serious it actually is, whether the pain was like a justified injury, or maybe it was just impact injury that was quite difficult to deal with, and actually is okay. We'll see what Pep says obviously later on. Exactly, mate. It's going to be a rotation galore game. It's not going to be a team that's the same team throughout. It's going to be definitely a mixture of squads going on. I said the midfield for me will be the most changed part of the team this season. The attack will probably be relatively the same anyway. Maybe a few players here and there might come in and come out, but the midfield will always be the experiment. I think we won't find out our best midfield for a while. Even right now, Rico, Kovacic, De Bruyne, and Bernardo, it's a great midfield so far, but it won't be the main midfield probably. I don't think going forward. It's going to be a whole mixture. At some point, it's going to be interesting to see who
You
comes
can't
into
justify it
where.
either.
No, exactly. I think it's like Rodri, Stones, Walker. It's like minutes needed as well. So it's going to be a lot of time for Pep to work out which games is going to use for minutes. Brentford for me, minutes, 100%. Inter Milan, not so much. Arsenal, no, definitely not. That's more the big boys must play that game no matter what. So was it Watford? Yes, minutes for all the players that play around. It's down to Pep to get it right, to get the balance right. That's what he needs to really sort of get correct as well. Back on my shirt, no, on this shirt, no one, but I've got a few. I've got a different variety on there. I mean, today I've just got the last kit. I like this kit, by the way. It's a really nice, really lovely third kit. It was awesome. But the lightning and that, and like the red as well. The neon red, really nice. Really nice design. KDB will need a break soon. Yeah, he will. Look, remember, KDB so far, she's actually played pretty well with the fitness so far. It's been managed quite well so far, and he looks pretty good so far. I mean, Belgium played very well again both games, but I mean, Belgium, mate, are a shit show anyway.
Oh
They're
yeah.
gone now. He's wasting that team now. Wasted.
That golden generation had the chance especially when you had company,
Hazard.
Vertonghen in his
Hazard.
prime, Alderweireld, Hazard, yep. Even his younger
What a
brother
team.
Hazard, Forgan Hazard,
Yeah, Nine Golan,
Mertens.
Witzel. Nine Golan, Witzel. Even Fellaini was good for them. He was good. He wasn't good for Fellaini
But
for Belgium. So.
that was managed by the Spanish Martinez. Sorry, the Spanish Southgate, Roberto Martinez.
Spanish Martinez. He is Spanish. No, but no,
Yeah,
he was mate.
I completely missed that one.
And now he's managing Portugal. How's he getting jobs, man? How is he getting bloody jobs? Honestly.
He must have a likable personality.
But that was you nothing, mate, in football. Nothing in football. Haaland will only play first half. Yeah, Haaland will play first half. Second half, he'll come off. Even if we're like 2-0 up, he'll come off. Like the team's good enough for me to play that anyway. I think, but we've got to play him to try and get that win secured early on. Because remember, this game is huge. Like Arsenal at Tottenham on Sunday. Like if we get the win, we're then like is it 4 points? So we're then like 5 points going against
Happened against Tottenham.
So they have to win at Tottenham without Declan Rice and Erdegaard. Partey, Jorginho, and Havertz. Bloody hell. So,
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
it's a situation though. If you can play Haaland against Brentford, all game for it. But we're more than capable of winning without Haaland with respect. That
Yeah, we
team
are.
has got goals galore.
Foden, see, for me, yeah, Foden for me off the bench. I wouldn't be starting Foden against Brentford, obviously, especially with the illness he's had as well. And from what I've heard, it's severe food poisoning as well. So we've got to be a bit wary on that because when you have food poisoning, it does absolutely take a lot out of you, a lot of energy out of your body when you go through that. So I think Brentford and Inter probably would play him off the bench. Arsenal might start depending on how good he is, obviously, how wary he is. But obviously, will actually manage that as well. Things a draw or lose a couple. Yeah, exactly. So it's not, but me, I think Inter Milan, if you get a win at Inter, it sets the mood right away. You're at home as well, home advantage. You've got to be Inter Milan, and you got Bratislava. A game. It's all about for me. Take these games seriously. Don't take everyone as a guaranteed win because it's not in Europe. It never is. Even last year we have was it even in that Belgrade? Like you played a weaker
Young
team,
Boys,
but
Belgrade. Can't
don't
remember who the team was.
yeah, but don't ever assume that it's easy.
Leipzig.
It's never easy. It's never easy at all. So McAtee, I imagine, will start games soon. I can see him getting played. At some
All you
point.
got to do is that Champions League is treated like how you did with the group stage, where if you get off to a good start, then come match day 5, or as it would be now, match day 7, you're more or less qualified, like top 2, or now it'll be top 8. If you just play out the normal way, when you try and win as many as you can, you should be more or less qualified top 8.
Yeah, exactly. And I think I agree with Steve there. I think wait, what's to load? There's McAtee play Watford. Yeah, I think they will. I think it's going to be definitely a much more of a changed team against Watford. It won't be any of the first team players at all. I wouldn't be doing that either. I'd probably play a couple just to be sure, just have insurance, just in case you know if what can happen. But even for me, the Carabao Cup for me is a priority anyway. Obviously it's a treat. I would take seriously anyway. I think if we get any easy running, and other teams go out and they get close towards the tournament and win it. But if we get like Liverpool away next, just I wouldn't really care. But it's more the fact that make it competitive and just do what you can with what you're given. Because at the end of the day, we could actually win all 4. I'm not saying it's going to happen, by the way. Probably won't happen at all. But you never know in football. We could do it with that squad we've got, of players we've got around the team. Obviously, fitness-wise is obviously counting towards that. But we could actually do that if we have the right players in positions.
You know what I'd do as well for Watford?
Yeah.
I'd even play, dare I say it, Kyle Walker.
I would. Yeah, I would as well, mate.
Because where's his minutes coming from between Brentford and that Watford game? He ain't got a chance.
We watched that West Ham game, mate. Fucking hell, he was terrible. I know it was a cameo, but I just couldn't believe what I was watching. Look, for me personally, right, I've been said in the comments before about Frimpong. I understand what you're saying, but in the summer, I'm bringing Jeremy Frimpong and get rid of Kyle Walker. For me personally, number 2 shirt.
Go on, sorry.
So number 2 shirt for Frimpong. You know, just look for me personally. Right, people say we can't defend. Well, he can learn to defend. He can learn within the systems. I don't understand what in football. Obviously, you have to however you play for you're younger is apparently how you play the rest of your career. No, you can learn how to do better at race. I think you need to get up in mind there with that one. But for me personally, I think Frimpong should get a fullback a bit getting after our Cowboys. So go on, mate. What are you saying?
Yeah, do you remember when obviously the England squad got announced for the Nations League against Ireland and Finland? And obviously Rico was called up. And then I remember seeing on City Extra, Kyle Walker was doing an interview on somewhere. And the quote said, it's about your performance on the pitch. And I believe I've been performing well and I deserve to be in that England squad. That was Kyle Walker saying all that. Like, where's your accountability? Your performances are the same, lad. And Rico's been slamming it since the start of this season. How can you say you deserve to be in that squad? You've been a liability since you got the armband on your arm. Seriously.
Yeah. Honestly, absolute, shamelessness. He's just a shameless player, honestly. Look, I used to really like Kyle Walker. He's become so unlikable. And it's a shame because I want him to leave end of last season. Say, right, you won the league as captain. Just move on because you obviously are done, and let Frimpong come in or Enrico be the fullback. Say, right, you two can do the job anyway. But no, he's still here. I'm surprised anyway. I mean, also the captaincy has that been clarified yet? Yeah.
Captaincy. Last I heard, there was having a vote about it. According to that was to City Extra, but there's been nothing that's come out who's the actual full-time captain. So unless they've just swept it on the carpet, and it's just going to be Kyle Walker.
Probably.
But then all I'm saying is, I wouldn't have Gundogan as captain. I'd have him in the leadership group after what he's done over the years. But if anyone's going to be captain, it's got to be Ruben.
Yep. Because look, I love Kev. Kev is a leader. If he was captain, I'd be fine with it because at least see with him, you actually trust that he gives a shit. I wouldn't say things out of hand. I'll draw him after the Belgium game right now. What he said was brilliant. He called out everyone that wasn't playing well. He said it as it is, and I thought, look, if he was club captain, I wouldn't mind at all. Normal. I think everyone should be happy anyway. Obviously, we want Diaz. That's the ideal choice for me personally. But if Kev was captain, I'm like, That's fine. I'm fine with that for 1 or 2 more years anyway before he leaves anyway. So, I mean, look, to me personally, Diaz is who I go for 100%. He leads by example. He's got the attitude of a captain. He gives us all on the pitch. I mean, we're watching it against West Ham. I know he's got the own goal, but even from the back, the way he sort of led everyone, sort of barked orders and that, he has that ability to sort of just keep everyone in check. Even Haaland as well. I'd say even Haaland has a. Well, I'm not to say right now, but if Haaland stays long enough, he's a really good choice to be a captain sometime down the line if he stays long enough.
Just throw Phil in there, why don't you, lad? I mean, with Haaland, no, because I think that pressure would get to his head, like easy
Not
on.
right
He's
now.
obviously
Not
scoring
right now.
goals.
No.
Same with
Yeah,
Foden.
him or
I won't have
Foden.
Foden
No,
as captain.
no,
But
no.
with
For me,
with
Phil's not kind of
De
player.
Bruyne, with De Bruyne, he don't give a shit about the captaincy because he knows that it doesn't mean nothing because of the leadership group and what's around him. It's
Yeah,
just, I think what De Bruyne sees captaincy role as is just someone that gets lifted trophies first. They're all
yeah,
leaders in their own right.
yeah. I mean, say Steve here, he did that Belgian team was unbelievable. One day, right when Kev does retire, we'll talk about that Belgian team because I've got a cousin actually who was born in Belgium, so I've got a bit of an affinity with Belgium as a country itself. Anyway, I love going to Brussels every now and again as well. But for me, I just always felt Belgium just missed. Should have won a World Cup. Should have won a Euros. Should have done a lot more like with the team. Hazard, De Bruyne, Lukaku. It was a fantastic team to watch. Mertens as well. It's a great team of players that were
Makes you
so
feel
on the
sick.
level. Like even like different. I love Doku. I think Doku's been playing well for Belgium. I wouldn't say he's been terrible at all. He's been doing his best. But again, him and De Bruyne and maybe like Tielemans are a number of players that are good. And I don't know. I like Openda. He's a great player for Leipzig. I think he'll have a good career himself over years. But Belgium's team is a very much a makeshift team of like previous teams. It's not a new team at all. It's like a rags team as trying to sort of get back together. It's not what it used to be, sadly. But and honestly, Steve, exactly. Watford will be the big chance for these two because for me, Nunes for me came on against West Ham. He was brilliant. That pass to Haaland, the work rate he showed, he can deliver for this team. I trust him to have the mentality to do that. I hope he gets the opportunity more and more. Watford as well. Maybe get Brentford as well off the bench as well. Maybe start a few games here. I think he can do that, Nunes, but he's got to keep that attitude up for the whole season. Don't drop the head of yours. Keep it up. You never know you might get a chance. That's what I feel about him anyway. Yeah, Foden more. Yeah, I think Foden might start into Milan. I don't know. Depends on Foden's fitness for me against Arsenal. Depends on where we.
It's also, do you want De Bruyne for Arsenal or do you want Foden for Arsenal? Because I think De Bruyne is more suited to the bigger games.
That's what I mean. I would probably rest De Bruyne. What for? I think Newcastle, Arsenal, Windsor. He has to play. Doesn't he? He has to play against them three teams. But Bratislava, Fulham, nah. I would not for me personally. I bench him and give him like for Kev, just manage him because he is still well. For me, he's been world class over any since I've watched him this season. He's been put out all the stops, show more goals and more assists anyway. That goal and assist so far already, playing brilliantly so far. That shot with West Ham, like he hit a shot first time from a corner against the keeper. It was a brilliant shot. So he has it still, even at 33. He's still got it still. So I trust him to be managed well. Obviously, I mean Wilson has brand me right is because he didn't go out on loan. He's still here technically. He didn't go loan do anywhere. It's a big year for him as well because if he does get a chance to put Ake out, he has to take it. He's got to take it wherever he can get because if he plays well enough against Watford, shows that he's actually grown and matured as a player, he might get a chance. You never know in football.
True. I just feel I can't see no way in for him because I think that'll just be one game based on rotation with the 40-hour stopgap. But long term, is he really going to come in? That's the thing. Because he's been at the City how long now? Ever since like he got graduated through the academy, and he's never made like a Rico Lewis kind of way, bedded in his time and come in slowly. He's never had that chance, so why change now? I think it's like I say, best for him to move on.
Rodri as captain. It'd be an interesting choice, but I think he could do it, Rodri. I wouldn't mind him or Diaz getting it, but if you're asking me who I really want as captain, Ruben Diaz. That's who I mean. Look, Rodri for me, if he was vice captain, follow me. I'm up here because either way for me, he needs well anyway. I think even Rodri would say Diaz. He's a Diaz should be captain. I think he know that himself anyway.
Again, Rodri, I think that responsibility might knock him down a bit because look how good he is now. He's a world class player. Could that responsibility put a bit more pressure on him, and then that loses out on his own personal game?
That's what I mean. There's a lot of gamble with that, especially. You might sway to resign. I think personally he'll resign anyway. Look, I know Madrid have the aura, have the pull, whatever, but the thing is, for me personally, right, Madrid had to sell all their players. There's no way. Yeah. And there's no way Chouameni, Valverde, and Camavinga are going to be happy on the bench. Or are they, Harry? Not going to be happy on the bench. So if one of them players was to leave, I wouldn't mind having them back. Don't get wrong. I like Chouameni. I think he's a great midfielder. Is he a replacement for Rodri? No. It was Camavinga. I mean, more preferable with that. Well, even so, Rodri, he has to choose to leave anyway. And for me personally, I'll be fine here anyway. The only way I'd be worried about it is actually wants to as well. Look, again, Madrid news and PR. If Madrid news and PR, it doesn't mean it'll happen. But for me personally, I'm not scared at all. Because again, it's Madrid news, drawing a positivity out there. Like Haaland can join us, and fix it all. Right. So Haaland at City then. So Haaland's going to go to Madrid, is he? So all right. So let's pay the resource then. That will obviously will actually demand, especially with that new deal coming in as well. Because at some point I'll sign a new deal. Anyway, a lot of it is just down to whether or not Madrid have the balls. I'm sure they have the balls to actually go through with the money. Just remember, it's not Mbappe's free transfer with just a sign-on fee. It's actually a full-on £200 million probably signing. So, and also, yeah, exactly, Steve. Latest is Barca, and Barcelona by anyone like that, ridiculous. No fucking way that's gonna happen. Look, lads, Rodri and Haaland, chill out. If they leave, they leave.
These La Liga rumours just come out of the blue because the Spanish media are just jealous with what Man City have got. I mean, look, when Real Madrid beat us, they started making rumours about Pep's leaving the Spanish media. They just wanted to get on Man City's nerves, and that's what they did. We just couldn't rise above it as a fan base. We just got pissed off with the Spanish media. They just like to make jealous rumours. And then I go back to Rodri. Rodri is well liked by Atletico fans. He's well loved by Diego Simeone. I know we all say loyalties in the bin now because of money. But I don't think Rodri would do that. Rodri's a man of principles. Rodri's a man of action. He wouldn't throw his Atletico reputation in the bin to go to Real Madrid, especially when they're both competing on fronts like Man City and Real Madrid. Now it's going to change. You're still going to win titles at Real Madrid. You're going to win titles at Man City
as well. Oh, but the history of Madrid. Well, okay, right. Oh, so he'll move from City, I've won the League, Champions League, to go to Madrid, doing the exact same thing.
That's what
at
I'm
this
saying.
Point. There's no at best it's a sideways movement. It's like people say, "Oh, it's up." No, it's fucking not. Because at the end of the day, right, when you look at what you can win at Madrid, but the Ballon d'Or. The Ballon d'Or is a PR exercise anyway. Yes, he's going to the best PR firm in the world, but let's be bloody honest here. Is that happen? Really?
And he said he didn't care about the Ballon d'Or anyway.
But look, for me personally, the Ballon d'Or for me, I know who's going to win it. Vini Jr. Or Bellingham. Look, if he wins it, Rodri, I'll be overjoyed for him. I'll be buzzing if he wins the Ballon d'Or. Have a City player with the Ballon d'Or. Imagine that. I was baffled that even De Bruyne was the player of the year for us.
But then, give it next season, yeah? Give it next year, trust me. One full year of Mbappe, it'll be Real Madrid three-way tie. Mbappe, Vini Jr. and Jude Bellingham. Because, like you say, Real Madrid are a club of PR. And once Mbappe's been touted before about winning the Ballon d'Or when he was at PSG. It's like now he's at Real Madrid. He's certain to go and win it, regardless of Jude Bellingham and Jude Bellingham and Vinny Jr. because the press love him. FIFA love the name Mbappe. He's a World Cup winner. It's like when Messi won it. Messi won it, didn't he? Oh, it should have been Haaland.
Yeah, should have been. Right, yeah. So, look, I mean, to me personally, right, it's pretty straightforward, obviously, about what's going forward. I mean, look, we'll end the show, obviously, having a chat about the Premier League, obviously, fixtures, obviously this week. And, obviously, before we do that, obviously, Steve's had a good comment there, actually.
Yeah, I'm reading it.
Thing is, Harry from Madrid, his family might want to go back to Spain, whether Real, Spanish team colleagues, maybe. Yeah, no, Steve, I made a good point. Look, again, if he decides to go, it is what it is. I'm not panicked. At the end of the day, right? If a player wants to move on to another club, but acts accordingly and respectful to the club, fair enough. Look, for me personally, right, I think Haaland will leave at some point. Look, yes, he's a City fan, but he's a player that's also very young. He's allowed to go on and explore another challenge down the line if he wants to. Right now, I think he's perfectly fine here anyway. I'm sure exactly. Even agent would say, "Are you going to go Madrid? No, we've got Mbappe. Yes, they're saying, oh, we have Haaland in there as well. They're chatting rubbish again to get the PR out there. Exactly.
It'll be like a Ronaldo Messi thing. They want to separate it.
Yeah, it won't happen at all there. So for me, Haaland's here for long term anyway. Rodri, all right, fine, but again, no one's going to actually talk about this. Do not tell me that Fede Valverde or Tchouameni or Camavinga are going to be happy being on the bench. They're not. Someone's going to end up leaving Madrid for game time. And also, as well, if Haaland goes to Madrid, Rodrigo. What about him?
Yeah. Well, that's the same, isn't it? Apparently, because now Mbappe's there, Rodrigo's a bit unsettled, but they say they're going to give it a full season to test it first with Mbappe and Rodrigo in the same team. And if Rodrigo's unhappy, apparently only rumours, guys, but City might launch a bid next summer.
Mate, Rodrigo Musiala, mate.
That's a story for next summer, though.
Yeah, no, it's not for now, but trust me, that happens, mate. That comes up, I tell you. Again, before that happens, though, this season first, then we'll talk about transfers towards the time. But right now, it's all about the game coming up. But as I say, Steve, no, honestly, I agree. But it's what I mean. Like Steve and mate, I completely understand what you're saying. But at the end of the day, right, it's completely down to the player. If he feels like he wants to go to Real Madrid, if he wants to, that's up to him. I don't grudge him for doing that because Madrid are the biggest club in the world. They are. All Champions Leagues, all the trophies. I've a lot of respect for the players of Madrid. I mean, I'm more of a Barcelona person myself for the Messi and the Pep Guardiola days, obviously, and the Cruyff and that kind of stuff. But I respect Madrid for the players they've had in the past and how good they are. I mean, I've got a few of their shirts and Barcelona shirts. I'm a big, El Clasico fan myself anyway. But when it comes to our team and obviously our players, Aguero could have easily gone to Real Madrid. So could have Silva. So many of our players. Even De Bruyne could definitely have gone to Real Madrid. He could have done. But
they all could, to be fair.
But they all stayed here. Yes, I know Leroy left. Leroy for me was always a player that would just, I think, not necessarily he didn't like the club does, but I think it was just for him, it was Germany, the media. Yeah, homesick. I get it. Sterling, well, Sterling is a whole different story entirely. But yeah, but no, Alvarez, I get it. Argentinian, Simeone, let's go game time. Look, it hasn't started well for him so far, but I'm sure he'll get into gear at some point. Alvarez, trust me, don't rule him out, man. Alvarez is a good player, very, very good player. I remember.
With respect, Alvarez could go to Barcelona if they had money, or he could have gone to Real Madrid as well.
Oh, yeah,
he's a good player there, but you aren't getting in front of Erling Haaland, are you?
No, exactly. And if you have Haaland, he's probably the best runner, best truck as well anyway. He probably had a lot more goals by now anyway. So it is what it is, Alvarez. But let's go on to the fixture. Obviously, onto the fixture now for this weekend. Obviously, and we'll discuss obviously the Brentford game during that. But we'll obviously get on to the first game. Southampton Man United. Oof. I mean, It's weird because people
I'll
say,
be honest with you.
Hmm?
I don't really care about that one because I think it stinks of a one-way traffic.
the thing is, United should win this game.
They should,
They
but
should. The thing is with Southampton is like it's not the fact that they've been absolutely terrible. People said that they're bottom of the league. Well, lose 1-0, 0. But obviously Brentford was a bit of a bad result anyway, 3-1. But when you actually look at the style of play that they're doing, especially with Ramsdale and goal, a good keeper as well, get that right and the goals, they have every chance of staying up if they get that. But I think this is a massive game. That look, if they beat United, I'll laugh. I'll be buzzing if they beat United, obviously. But I just I think it's one of those games that's gonna be a really horrible game, terrible football, terrible United play. I think United will win 1-0. I think it'll be
they have literally got the Brazilian Calvin Phillips.
yeah, they do.
Enough said. If they've got the Brazilian Calvin Phillips, they're finished.
So, I mean, Steve's put 2-1 United. What's it going to be?
I'll just say 1-1 because, like I say, it doesn't exactly. It's not a fixture that's not exciting me. To be fair,
No. I'll go 2-1 Southampton. I'll back Southampton that one. But if United win, no one cares anyway. But it'd be hilarious to see them lose though again.
And if I'm
All
gonna throw an excuse for them, it's the lunchtime kickoff.
right.
They'll play
On the
that
South
card.
Coast. On the South Coast.
Brazilian Calvin Phillips, South Coast, and lunchtime kickoff.
Yeah. Brighton versus Ipswich. Ooh. No, Brighton. I'm sorry.
Stinks at Brighton. Where's it at Brighton?
3-1 Brighton.
Is it at Brighton? Sorry.
Yeah, sorry. Is that Brighton?
Yeah. 2-0.
Yeah. Palace Leicester. Draw. That's because Palace has been terrible so far.
No, stick my money on it. 3-1.
What,
3-1 Palace. Yeah.
Okay. I'll go to Fulham West Ham. Now West Ham weren't bad against us. I just think West Ham have got a lot of players. They've got to find the system from the well. I mean, I think I saw a sign of it. Yes, that when it's going, it's actually a very good team to play against. So I think it'll be a harder game for them. It would probably be, if it is a draw, like a 1-1 in the end. But West Ham and other players in Bowen and that, and kudos to beat them. I'll go to draw on this one. But what about you?
1-0
Fulham, yeah. Liverpool Forest, Liverpool 5-0.
Yeah,
I'm not
get over that one.
Yeah.
You don't need a score prediction for that one, lad.
No, it's guaranteed with that one. City Brentford, right, here we go. Right, the game that I'll be there at, you'll be there. The people on the chat will probably be that anyway. City Brentford. Now, I think we'll win this game. Is it going to be easy? No, because Brentford have Boomer and Vista, who are very good players on the counter attack. We have to accept that. And as fans, like, yes, it is Brentford. We should be winning the game, of course, but doesn't mean you discredit them because Brentford actually beat us. It could be twice a couple of years ago. So they're not easy to actually play against for us. So we're going into this game with a lot of respect for them, but also respect for ourselves. And then we can get a line. I'm going to go for me. I'll go 3-0, which sounds like I'm going to batter them, but it'll be a very hard working 3-0.
No, I think not. I think you need to probably say 2-0 because, like I say, I know we said before the international break, just get the W's over the land and then we can reset for the international break. Go again after the international break, sorry. But with this next month and all these games, rotation, I don't think we're going to see a consistent theme in the squad. So probably just get over the land, get the W, 2-0.
2-0. Okay, yeah, fair enough. Villa Everton, I mean, fucking 4-1. 4-4. Villa 4-1. I'm not. No, Villa are better Everton there. Go on.
Well, All I can say is I'm looking down. I feel depressed. I feel like I'm going to have to fall out with my missus unless she books me a trip to Ibiza because I feel I'm about to get sacked. This could end up nasty. Aston Villa, Unai, good team. Me, shit show. Got abused in that train station after Tottenham. My voice is going. It's croaky as fuck. I'm struggling. I won't be able to afford my rent, so I might just have to run away to Ibiza. So, guys, if I lose this, I think I'm fired. So it's been a pleasure communicating with you all on a Not in My Lifetime podcast. But if I survive it, we will be back next week. In the words of Pep Guardiola, we will be there. Goodbye.
I mean, mate. I mean, the Sean Dyche pod, mate. Imagine we get Dyche on here one day. That'd be some fucking episode 100.
That
Sean
really hits
Dyche.
your throat, believe me.
Sean Dyche on the podcast. You never know, man. One day, one bloody day. I know, Steve.
Really
Steve used to,
hits your throat.
it fucking does. Yeah, yeah. No, but no. Villa will bat. Villa will bat them. Yeah. Bournemouth Chelsea. Not. I think that screams of a 2-1 Bournemouth to me.
Is that Bournemouth?
Is that Bournemouth?
Ooh, that makes it interesting.
Mm.
If it was at the Bridge, I'd say whitewash. Oh, nah, scrap that. No one's winning. It's going to be one of them 1-1 draws.
1-1 draw. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So next one, the big one: Tottenham versus Arsenal. No Odegaard, no Rice, no Calafiori. Yeah, it's. I think it'll be a draw. This one. I think it'll be a draw.
I'll just put this politely. If Tottenham are at home, I know that. But if Tottenham do not claim minimum draw, they do not deserve anything from this season. Arsenal have got 3 key players out there, and they're at home. And if they can't get a draw, then what hope is there for Ange Postecoglou? He may as well just go back to Sydney or where he's from, Melbourne. May as well just go home because literally you have got to be getting a draw minimum from that game. You've got to
chance
be
ever.
winning it.
Best chance probably ever to get a win. No Rice, no Odegaard, makeshift midfield.
And as I've said, where's your striker?
Solanke's injured still, isn't he? I think he's not
No,
fit yet,
sorry
is he?
for Arsenal.
Well, Jesus is apparently coming back, but again, he's not a striker anyway. So
that's what I'm saying.
You know what I mean?
No striker, no creative midfielder, no defensive midfielder.
They have to win. They have to win. They have to win. They have to win this game. I'm going to go 2-1 Tottenham, but it could obviously be a draw.
It's got to be a minimum draw, otherwise that is a big bottle job from Tottenham.
Yeah. And the final game of the weekend is Wolves versus Newcastle, which is interesting to have that as the 4:30 game, but I guess because there's police stuff of Tottenham, especially being a derby. Yeah. I understand. Yeah. Wolves Newcastle. I think Newcastle will win that one. I think it screams like a 2 or 3-0 counter-attack win. Isak goal. Yeah.
Don't get a goal because they're at home, but then it'll be Newcastle for the win.
Yeah, and then that is it for the league fixtures. Obviously, until we obviously have the Champions League, which on Monday, Champions League, we'll do predictions for that with our first special guest. We'll obviously won't say it now who's going to be because we've got to make sure it's confirmed. Us for to decide that, but trust me, as soon as it's confirmed, it'll be an announcement of it in due course. Trust me, watch your space for that one. But yeah,
hopefully we can get this guest lined up tonight. So if anyone's following my social media, which is in the link, or you've got Luke's personal social media, and you've either got Not in My Lifetime on Twitter, we might be able to put some out there tonight.
Yeah. So watch this space. But yeah, so it's good to have a full back now. No more bloody international games. Nice to just have 7 games to look forward to now before the next bloody annoying break we've got to do in October again. But at least we've got a few games to look forward to now, mate. Brentford on Saturday. I'll be there. It'll be another busy day. Obviously at City. Now, I so heard about this. Is it this fan zone thing they've got now? Is it a new thing for the home games?
Oh, do you mean in the co-op?
Is that what it is?
Yeah, so you know the new co-op arena, it's just like a little like new fan zone, like you say. Another like what's it used to be, like the old summer bit bar, but indoors. Before like the
Right.
actually
Okay.
the new fan zone's built like ahead of next, well, 2026.
See if
It
I'll be anyway. I'll be at
yeah,
town or anyway, but
yeah,
go
it
on.
costs you like £5 to get entry, but then you get like a £5 voucher back, so you're basically paying nothing.
Okay, but for me personally, I'd probably just go to a pub anyway. I'd just go to a pub, a
Yeah,
pint.
Townley, get yourself in Townley. That's the way it's gonna be.
Townley, Merry D's, well, one of them two. One of them two's a good one, but yeah. I should be it though. I mean, look again. Like, I'm interested to see how that new stand comes along. Especially if I've just built. Has it been built yet, or is it still being built?
Say that again. Sorry, didn't catch that.
That the new stand has it been built yet, or is it still being built?
Still being built as far as I know, unless there's
Right.
actually no. I'll tell you something. I think it was about 2 weeks ago, probably the week up to West Ham game. I did see a video from LB and MCFC lads, and they was walking around the stadium, and they did like a little review of like all the construction going on. So it might be worth checking that out.
Mm.
It was on
Well,
MCFC lads' YouTube.
I think I will actually. Yeah, I think I will definitely do that at some point. I mean, and do you know what? Speaking of Steve Sinatra, tune in tomorrow for a very special series that I'm starting with Bevo tomorrow. This the retro years, as we'll call it, because it's going to be about City previous seasons. And trust me, we will have Harry on for one of them at some point. We've got to obviously work out the schedule for that, but we've got a big guest obviously coming up soon, which we're for the next one. We're actually quite good. Watch this space on that one as well. It is Taction Shinawatra Caribbean Racer. It is, yes, the one you had him in as owner. That's a weird year that was. I mean, obviously on his event as well, but it's gonna be a weird season to look back on because it was just before we obviously got taken over. A lot of obviously stuff unknown. It'd be good to sort of have a look back on that squad and sort of see a different City that was obviously we see now with the free flowing football and obviously and the players in the squad. It's gonna be interesting to see the players down to Lano and that, and obviously certain players in that squad. It's gonna be good to sort of have a look back at old players and that and. Should be a good one tomorrow. So I'll leave a link to the actual game tomorrow, obviously, before it starts. Obviously, it should be a good one. Look forward to having everyone on for that. Big up everyone, obviously, being in the stream, obviously, for the last, obviously, over an hour. Tuning in, watching us just chat about football for about over an hour. Okay, this is the start of a new show on the channel. It'll get better and better the more we do it. Obviously, the more we obviously add to it. A lot of plans coming up, obviously, with both of us on this channel. And trust me, watch this space. A lot to look forward to. A lot to sort of, and it'll be good,
I
sort of,
won't give I won't give them all
go
one
on.
exclusive now.
Go on.
So guys, for those that don't go to matches, especially in Europe, I can promise you that we will be streaming from Slovakia, Portugal, and Italy this year.
Yep.
So if you want to see what life in Europe is like, I can promise you there will be a streaming place for each Champions League game up till Christmas. PSG, we're still working out, but the first three, there will be a stream from Europe.
Yeah. PSG, I might be there with you, Harry. Might be. Hopefully, I can get a ticket for that one. But we'll see on that one. That should be a good little live stream live together, both in Paris. Watch the game together. But we'll see when that from. So no guarantees yet, but we'll definitely definitely tune in to sort of see what happens in that one because there's a lot to come in this series, a lot to come this season. I look forward to bringing you all the content going forward. Big up everyone, obviously. Big up all the mods in the chat, as always. So chatting away, leaving their comments, obviously, their predictions, obviously for the games. We appreciate everyone tuning in. Anyone be on Twitter, YouTube. The subscribers always great as well. It's just good to see the channel doing really well at the moment. And yeah, bring on tomorrow another new series starting up tomorrow. And yeah, bring on this weekend, Harry. Bring it on. Bring on the amount of games to look forward to.
We'll be there.
Take everyone. See you there. Bye bye.